We were talking about family names and how some of us got our names, and Mama said you were named for, and she stopped, and I said who, and she'd never say anything else. So she evidently didn't want me to know who I was named for.
So, how old were you when you had this conversation with her?
Oh, I was an adult. It was just
Did you ask again?
no.
you,
When it's cut off,
right, yeah.
you know what that's.
Anyway,
I think every time that I hear a story about Grandma Mo, it makes me like her more, which I already like her a lot, obviously, but I like to think that that was intentional, that she just played a joke.
She's funny. Like, she was there, like, all the way till the end. Like, I don't remember. I mean, of course, the last year or so, there was some things where, she was here or there. But for the most part, she would have full-on conversations at any point. And I remember even being younger. Mm-hmm. And I remember asking her, like, questions about, like, when she was a kid. And she kind of, like, why are you asking me that? Like, that's crazy. Like, we had cows and we milked them and, like, just duh. And I'm like, oh, yeah, tell me about it. And she's like, it was just normal. I don't know. It was just normal stuff.
Like it ought to be normal for you as well.
Yeah, like that I would just know what it was like in the, 30s. But anyway, we got pictures here, and some of them have names on them and some of them don't. And some of them are obvious. But he was going to tell me who the people were, and I was like, well, can we record it? And then it took me 30 minutes to set up the camera. But okay.
That's one I'm not sure about. I think that's some of Mimi's ancestors.
I've seen that one before, the guy with the mustache. Maybe said.
I think that's one of the pictures maybe Jimmy made for you.
Oh, okay.
Any idea on a time frame on that?
Would have been
I think Chris would probably know.
1920s or before, I would guess.
Unknown Gilbert family.
Okay.
That's
No, that's D.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure.
Of course. I'm sorry. Off to a bad start.
I'm pretty sure that's his brother. We called him Uncle Emmett, I think. That's Wanda's grandfather.
Okay.
You knew that
Yes.
Mike and Wanda were.
Yes. So that's. My finger is pointing at. Oh, this is.
So that's D and
Emmett.
Emmett.
And then Emmett is the one on the end.
Yeah.
And then that's
Reasonably sure that's right.
Emmett.
I'll take pictures of these and put them somewhere
Put 'em in the
to
comments.
go along with the. There will be a
The
link.
below.
That's Grandma Mo's family. That's grandmother,
Mhm.
Pearl Seifels. I think that's Mama and Aunt Max. I would say Aunt Evelyn and Aunt Grace, but
It could be flip flopped.
yeah.
Grandma Mo was the small one on the end.
She was the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Bless her.
So tell Aunt Mac's story real quick while we're here.
I don't know how to describe Aunt Max, but
Tell like how superstitious they were, or she was.
well, I don't know that Aunt Max was ever that superstitious, but Grandmother Seifels and Aunt Grace both were
Okay.
very superstitious. grandmother thought one of her neighbors was a witch and put a curse on her milk cow and made her go drive.
Oh my.
They were coming to see us at Ider from Rosalie, and back then the best way is to go to the Flat Rock and then to Ider, and somewhere along there a black cat crossed the road in front of them.
Uh-huh.
So Aunt Grace turned around and went all the way back to Rosalie and then back to Henniger to Ider.
Which probably would have been like what? An hour?
No, it wouldn't have been that long, but it's
That's
more than twice the original distance.
Well, I was just thinking the cars at the time.
Well,
Yeah.
and you too realize or think about how frugal they were.
Yeah, how much money it would have cost them to go around that far.
But Aunt
But-
Grace always had a nice car. She had had Chevrolets up until the last one was a Buick. She turned loose with a little more money.
So they moved to Mobile,
During World War II.
right, to work on the ships.
Yeah.
All
And-
three of them.
Yeah.
I think Aunt Max had probably an office job, clerical work or something, and Aunt Grace and Aunt Evelyn worked as in the shipyard as welders. And then when the war was winding down, Aunt Grace and Aunt Evelyn came back home, but Aunt Max had an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. and took a job up there. And she wound up working in the Pentagon. And she was a personal secretary to the Air Force General, I think. And she worked there 30 years, I guess, and retired.
Okay. I knew she was in D.C., but I didn't realize it was for that long. I guess so. She lived
Always.
most of. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as we know, there were no husbands. But then later found out that there may have been.
Yeah, we don't know about Aunt Grace. The story was that she was going to get married when she was in Mobile, and they were going to go to New Orleans and get married. But they had an argument on the way and turned around and came back.
Called it off.
But she always wore a ring that could have been a wedding band, and there's suspicion that maybe she was engaged or married to a man that got killed in the war. It's something that was never talked about.
Yeah, that seems to be a common theme of like, it makes sense, but you would think that she would have told somebody and it would have eventually got around. Yeah. Because now it hits Facebook and it's or whatever it could be. It's interesting, and then too, they're writing letters or
Yeah.
in person, and memory is the biggest one that seems to be holding it up. But there's Dee and Bessie, which is
My grandparents.
and it's Grandma.
No, Grandad Phillips.
Okay.
is-
Oh, we got some dogs.
Yeah. Well, that's my great grandparents, Phillips,
Mm-hmm.
John and Julia.
Wow.
John is, well, I guess both of them are buried at the Fuller Cemetery at Ider. And we noticed his birthday was December 2nd,
Mm-hmm.
and he died on his birthday. John, Gary's son John,
Mm-hmm.
was born on December 2nd.
Wow. That's weird. Jeez. So, how?
Start, finish, and start again.
What memory do you have of like? Obviously, you remember your grandparents,
Yeah.
and did you ever? And Like I have no memory of Dub whatsoever, but I know that he held me, and I've seen pictures. There's like a overlap there for a little bit. But was that your experience or?
No, I think they were gone before I was born. I never knew.
Okay.
Never knew any great grandparents, and of course, Mama's daddy died before I was born, so I never knew him. So I only knew one grandfather, and he was dead.
Okay. And then, I guess we don't know the dogs, but
They look like they were trained.
Well, and they were likely foxhounds because my granddad was a fox hunter.
right. And then, so this was something I was wanting to ask, and I know you did Ancestry and looked into it far, but when you were growing up, was there? I mean, I guess, what were you told that you were, like, heritage or ancestry, or was that even something that was talked about or anyone cared about? Okay.
I never knew. I knew Grandad Phillips' brothers because they were around. We'd see them, but I never heard Grandad talk about his parents. I never knew anything about them and whether they had siblings. Just didn't know anything.
Interesting. So it was just the
only thing that we were told that Grandad Seiffel's mother was half Cherokee, I think, was the story. But in the records and the DNA, nothing shows up. So.
Yeah. Interesting. So I guess when was the first time that you ever even like I guess maybe you had a general idea of like Scotch Irish or English or when did you ever start thinking about that or like?
Really, just in the last few years.
Yeah.
When I did a little ancestry.com.
Right. And what you determined was.
I'd probably find it online and show you, but my ancestry is mostly English, and then it's Scottish. There's Western, like Germany, Scandinavia, very little Irish. It's like 1% or something like that.
And it gave a distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling Rob I'd just seen a video of, it was St. Patrick's Day not too long ago, and they were saying, people just say Scots Irish, and that's just, you think it's a mix of Scottish and Irish, but what I read or watched was that the Scottish, there was in between Scotland and England, there was like a 40-mile kind of wall there where it was just a border skirmish at all times for hundreds of years.
Well, and that they were kind of Scottish, but then the British drove a lot of them out and sent them to Ireland.
Right.
And the only Irish was really, they lived there for a
right.
while.
Yeah.
And they're the people that they're kind of contrary and independent.
Right. Yeah. Because it seems like, to an American, I guess, you just lump them together, like they sound like Conor McGregor and whatever. But the gist of the video was the king at one point sent a bunch of Scots to live in Ireland to kind of colonize it, and we'll give you lands, we'll make you royalty or dukes or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, that was a lie. And so they kept their distinct, culture. Like from what I understand, the Scottish were Protestant and the Irish were Catholic. You think of like the Kennedys and all of that. And then, Irish kind of tended to stay in the cities and be democratic and, but the Scottish, they're the ones that kind of come down through Appalachia. Yeah. So the reason Scotch-Irish started becoming a thing was the boat left from Dublin. Mm-hmm. So, but they were actually Scottish. It just, like you said, for a few hundred years, they were just there. But
and you know how you can tell if you've got Scotch-Irish ancestry? 'Cause you tell somebody you can't do that,
Mm-hmm.
if they say, "Oh yeah, just watch me." That's Scotch Irish.
Yeah.
Sounds like some stories I've heard about Mike.
Yeah.
They'll either that or who's gonna stop me.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason, because we talked about it a long time ago, but Dad had read a book about Appalachia, and there was some kind of doctor or psychologist that studied, like, why are these people so disagreeable? Like, what caused this? And basically it went back from that kind of border war thing going on, where there was you didn't grow crops because they were just going to get burned down or stolen. So, you would steal my cow one night and I would steal it back the next night, and that's how they lived. So everything, there was no law and order, it was all honor. So if I got, punked, or you stole my cow and I didn't do anything about it, I mean, you're nothing. So they would just fight on a dime. And then you fast forward and we got Hatfields and McCoys, and we all know people that are like that too, still today.
Yeah.
And like anti-government, that falls right in there with it. But anyway, that was the first one we saw a minute ago.
That's John and Martha Gibson. That's Grandma Mo's mother's parents.
Okay.
My grandmother Pearl Southwell's maiden name was Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Thrice
lived
great.
at Dawson,
Yeah.
Alabama.
Uh-huh.
Not
And
far.
we still have part of the family farm.
Okay.
Little part.
3 acres divided among 8 children.
How does that come out?
On 2 sides of the road.
So you got the ditch bank. Oh, that's good. Where is that at?
Dawson, down close to Crossville, Geraldine. area.
Okay. So that's just it's just out there.
My grandmother inherited it, and she paid taxes on it until she died, and then Aunt Grace, I guess the other sisters sold their part or gave it to her or what,
Mm-hmm.
and she paid taxes on it all those years, and now we're paying taxes.
So it's just like a curse at this point.
And tell them about the last tax
Yeah.
bill.
We've kind of been alternating the brothers and sisters paying tax. So I decided that I would pay the tax this year. So I asked Barry, he always got the notice,
Uh-huh.
and he said he hadn't seen the notice, he didn't know anything about it. And he said, I guess when we moved from Florida, they didn't forward it or something.
Oh my gosh.
He said, I'll check on it. So I asked him a month or 2 later, and it was like that's the first he had heard about it. And going through the chemo and all that.
Sure, yeah,
But,
he had a lot going on.
So I went down to the tax office planning on paying $140,
Right.
and it had actually been sold for back taxes.
Ah.
But you have a certain period of time that you can redeem it.
Okay.
So I wound up redeeming and paying back tax for a little over $500.
For a 1/16 of an acre.
On
Dang
2
it.
sides of the road.
Dang it, Barry. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Now, was it Gary or Barry?
Barry got the notice, but
Okay.
Well, Gary asked me, we were over there yesterday
Uh-huh.
at Gary and Linda's, and he asked, said, did Greg ever get any money on that tax? And I said, I don't know. I didn't want to say
That's
no.
boy stuff. Yeah.
Gary
I
sent
don't
me a
think-
check, but I
Gary
said, well,
did.
I'm good for the next 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah, you get to skip a couple years. That's so funny. Now, if this needs to get cut out so somebody doesn't get hurt feelings, I don't know if there's I'll send it to y'all and y'all can watch it. And if there's anything that doesn't need to go out, well, the reason I say that is Mom she's afraid feelings are gonna get hurt. Like when I so anyway, so and I didn't want to pass by the heritage thing. Was it the similar deal for you?
Oh, I never heard anything about
Nobody
it.
even talked about it.
No.
Really? That's amazing. Did you even hear like what state your family lived in before they come to Alabama? Because they had to have come through.
Yeah. I don't remember. They may have talked about it or mentioned it, but I don't remember.
Interesting.
It never was important to me. I was just here.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess
That's-
I'm not as curious as some people.
Well,
Generally, I don't think younger people ever think about things like that. It's when you start getting old and
right. Well, yeah, and
Get more sentimental.
yeah.
that's the whole reason I wanted to do all this is because, like, you know, if I got this picture with nothing on the back, I'd say, that's probably one of my aunts in her car.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's Aunt Max.
she had it like she liked it right there.
Yeah. But she's in Aunt Grace's car. Aunt Max never drove until she got ready to retire.
Really?
And yeah.
She rode the bus to work
Uh-huh.
when she was, all those years at the Pentagon.
Uh-huh.
She rode the bus whenever,
Yeah.
wherever she needed to go. And I guess when she came home for visits,
She flew.
she flew.
Yeah, I remember going to the airport in Chattanooga to
Oh, okay.
pick her up.
Yeah, she would have lived somewhere with a little bit better public transportation.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm. And then when she got ready, thinking about retiring, she figured up.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she was early 50s, I guess, when she retired. But
Mhm.
she said a lot of her coworkers were retiring and got her to thinking about it. And she just went to see how it would come out if she retired.
Mhm.
And she found out what she would draw retired if she deducted her bus fare and things like that.
Mhm.
It was actually costing her $25 a week or something. to
She's
keep
losing
working.
money.
Yeah.
Wow. Good to have a spreadsheet. I wonder how long it had been that way. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know if I was curious about it just because, like, when I was 14 or 15, the ancestry stuff started coming out and, like, the DNA testing, which, as it turns out, was just a way to sell more information to China. But, it was cool and everybody was doing it.
I think we're probably a little bit more of a special case because of all the Phillipses and Gilberts and all of y'all still speak to each other and like see
And
each
live
other
in the
every
same
year.
general area, too.
Right, and
That's true.
and nobody's really had any big like feuds and falling outs, and everybody's still pretty close. And there's like people talk about family being cutting off from family, and we'd be like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I started seeing that whenever I got to living in Auburn and seeing some of the buddies I was around. Like, oh yeah, my grandma and grandpa got split up, and now grandpa's got a new wife, and I'm like, what? You can do that?
Well,
That's insane.
We've also got a little bit of a range with the Griffin family that we don't hardly know any. Like we had Harlan, and we didn't see him much, but we would see him.
Yeah.
But the rest of the Griffins that live like in Texas that we've never met, and when it was Harlan's funeral, and Dad's uncle Mike came up to me and said, "You know who I am?" I go, "No." And he told me, which like I've met him twice in my life, and that was the second time.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got Phillips, which is the best. Everybody's still everybody, and there's not been any reason or even a thought of
That
So
we know of.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Or
was
you
about
really
to-
You don't know. You don't know.
I think we've been sheltered from a lot of, I'm sure there were back in the day, or even now, I don't know. if there's people real bad mad at anybody, I don't know about it. And I'd like to keep it that way. I don't want to hear anything that I don't need to be hearing about. But anyway, no comments.
That's Pearl Saffles.
Grandmama's mother.
She looks like she's pondering something. These are not going to focus well, but link in the description for the the Google Drive.
Yeah, that's Hub Odell.
Huh?
No,
You do that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Hub.
Mm-hmm.
And Amos Young, which I think is his brother-in-law. Hub is my grandmother Phillips's dad.
Okay.
His
And
name is actually Alfred Monroe, but he's known as Hub.
of course, do we have any idea what Hub
Listen for names.
stood for?
No,
A lot of odd names. Was that a thing? Is that like a family thing of like Dub and JV, and
no, that's
was that more common
Well,
at the time?
tell them about your Hub and Grandmother Phillips's mother died, and she was a baby. She was little, 2
Mhm.
maybe. Right, Greg? Tell them.
no. She was more like 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
But Hub was married to Mary Etta Odell. That's who Mary's named for.
Okay.
She died in childbirth when grandmother was about 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She and the baby both died. He eventually remarried when I think grandmother was maybe 14 or 15. Her daddy married a girl that was maybe 16 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
He was like 30 something,
Mm-hmm.
and
And his wife was now the same age as his daughter.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
and so she went to live with her grandparents until she got married.
Interesting. Well, fair enough.
I could have here too.
Wow.
And he had, let's see, 6 children by his second wife.
Okay.
But he
'Cause she
always
could
referred
start
to his
somewhere.
first wife as my wife.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
What do you call the second one?
Whatever
He's
her
just
name
her
Very
name.
seldom.
Very simple.
Her name, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was told they didn't get along very well. They fought all the time.
I can't imagine why.
And, and he told her if he went first, he wanted to be buried by his wife.
Good grief. Well, so he was married to his second wife,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like legally and everything.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
And
Well.
he's buried by his wife.
Are they over here in Otter?
They're up at it's called Smith Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the Sulphur Springs Road is.
Yes.
It's off of that road back
Okay.
over there.
Wow. That's
Yes,
insane.
I've never been to that cemetery, I don't think. Have you?
As a child, but I
Yeah.
can't remember. But I think she's buried at full.
She had
The
enough.
second wife.
Yeah.
Wow.
Down either side of it.
What were they doing in that picture? Was it? It looked like
Playing
playing
chess.
chess. Okay.
And the second wife, her name was Allie. And I don't know the situation that she was adopted or just took the family name, but if I understand right, she was left on the doorstep of this Beatty family, and they took her and raised her.
I wonder if that's Will Beatty's family. I mean,
They-
the
probably-
chances are extremely high, especially when you go that far up.
Yeah, they're probably
Well,
somewhere down the line.
Wow.
Not a lot of babies around.
I've never even heard of another Beatty other than Will.
There's been a lot of them around Ida. There's still a lot of them up there. In fact, four-way stop at Ida is originally called Beatty's Crossroads.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
Joe Buck Beatty had a cafe there at the stop
So if you're coming from Henniger and you pull up, where would it have been
on the left.
before you go through?
Yeah.
Okay. So that same building, I'm assuming.
Well,
It's
the
down
building's
now.
not there anymore.
They-
But
Oh, did
Finally
they?
tore all that down and
Yes, it's been a while since I've been through either.
might be.
Wow.
But you going to the stop from Henniger and on the left, there was a row of buildings there,
Mm-hmm.
and the first one was Joe Buck's Cafe.
Okay. So did the Cabbage Bowl put him out of business, or is that
No, it was gone long
that
before
was
that.
a 40-year gap there?
50 or more.
Okay. Well, potato.
That's Hub Odell.
The one with the 16-year-old wife.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
That guy. Wow.
You never, well, you don't remember my daddy or Uncle Hugh, but both of them look a lot like him.
That's insane.
The next time you ask me what I'd do if you died early and what I would do,
Gonna
I'm
take a
gonna say-
minor.
I'd say I'll be like a hub and refer to you as my wife and her.
That's so funny to me because you know, like at some point she's just like an 18-year-old girl and he's like in his like 30s or whatever, and she's or what? Yeah, and I don't know what the math works out to be, but what I mean, what was she gonna? Especially back then. I mean, that's not good.
Well, I'll tell you this story. My granddad's brother, Pierce Phillips,
Okay.
he was an old bachelor, I think maybe 40 or maybe past 40,
Mm-hmm.
had never married. And he had a good friend that had a family. And it was, I guess, during the Depression, hard times. And
Mm-hmm.
his friend asked him if he would marry his oldest daughter and raise her, feed her, because they were going to starve to death.
Mm.
So he married Pauline, and she was in her teens.
Yeah.
And they lived evidently happily till he died.
Wow.
And they never had children. And then after he died, she eventually remarried. But from everything I saw, they were perfectly happy.
Wow.
And it was survival.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I mean,
we can't imagine
no.
what it was like. I can't imagine
Even yeah.
during the Depression and all that.
Sure.
When Scott was in high school, they had, one of his, I guess, an English assignment was to interview an older person.
Mm-hmm.
So he interviewed his grandma, Sandra's mother,
Grandmother Gilbert.
and she was talking to him about the Depression and how hard they had it.
Mm-hmm. And
And her dad was sick a lot, and they had a big family. And she said they lost a farm because they couldn't pay tax on it. And he asked her how much the tax was, back tax.
Right.
And she said, I don't know for sure, but I think it was like $15. And it is, we'd never heard that story before, but
You had
Scott-
never heard that.
Scott could not imagine how anybody could not raise $15.
Well, and yeah, me too, obviously, and it's worse now because $15 is probably like several $1,000s now. I mean, it would have had to have been.
Well, it's been several hundred at least in comparison.
Yeah, and it's not like you need a new set of tires or you can't go anywhere. It's like your farm.
But, yeah.
Any idea where that was?
I'm sure it was in the Pisgah area.
Yeah. Oh, that makes me sick. Wow. So what year was
Plug
she
in
born?
an inflation calculator.
Yeah, Rob's gonna get to the bottom of it.
$15 in
My agreement-
1920 is equivalent of $250 in 2026.
That sounds wrong. I would have thought it had been worse.
1920 is what I selected.
Well, the Depression started in like
Yeah, I was
29,
gonna say do it a little bit later.
and
That's
the numbers don't mean anything because if you didn't have money, you didn't have money. And
That's true.
286 is what it is in 1930. So
Yeah.
It looks like it's going up a little bit. Yeah, 1932, $342.
But either way, I mean,
It's a
that's
recession.
just so crazy to me. Like, I don't know. I don't want to get political. I'm gonna pause it right here, and because it's hard to upload if it's too long.
My grandfather, Phillips,